Good day, family and friends. Today, Guibert and I have decided to give you this annual report of year 2021. We have decided to make it video instead of paper. Hopefully, it will be more fun to apprehend. And as a reminder, the original idea of the Lunt Foundation started exactly 10 years ago when Guibert and I went to a forum in England in 2012. And there we were at the forum, we saw social entrepreneurs from all over the world with a solution to everything we needed for a better world. So when we left that forum, we thought, what do we do with this? We saw it all, and yet very few people knew about it. So we decided to create the foundation, the Lunt Foundation, to help them communicate. And so on our way back, the Lunt Foundation was born.
And then we decided from the very beginning to focus mainly on agriculture, because there were a link between the activity of Harmonia, of course, and the Lunt Foundation. So we spent several years focusing on agriculture, permaculture, and also agroecology, just to promote this new approach of agriculture, identifying pioneers and helping them to, I should say, open their wings. And from the very beginning, we were also very interested and committed to the concept of biomimicry. So biomimicry, the idea of biomimicry, it's really part of the DNA of the foundation. So after spending time focusing on the agriculture, with the same idea of biomimicry, we went from regenerative agriculture to regenerative economy. And then what we did from the very beginning with agriculture and also regenerative economy, it's also to pay attention to media in order to spread those messages and to increase the impact of the action of Lunt Foundation.
So our focus is definitely on spreading the news of what is emerging. We consider our support to be a trigger or leverage to successfully carry further a project. But for the last 10 years, we did have a few blockbusters. And like Make Sense, you've heard of these names, Make Sense, who started, 8 years ago about. We met them, there were 3, pro bono, working pro bono. And the idea was just to use collective intelligence to solve problems or challenges that social entrepreneurs have. Today, there are 75 people on the payroll, and they do a lot more than that. They support also, they gather, actually, they mobilize people, which is their core system. They mobilize people around key issues like
climate change.
Climate change, yes, like food waste and those things, just to find answers to what can we do about those problems. Another one is Artemisia. She's based in Brussels. It's a pro bono firm lawyer defending biodiversity. She works a lot and very closely with the European legislation. And another one in the agriculture field is the Bec et Loin. It's a permaculture farm in France. It's also a research center around permaculture. And we have supported them also for something like 8 years. And they come up with, every time they come up with new researchers, and they have become a reference in Europe today. And of course, in the media field, we have supported books. Writing of the books. We have supported also documentaries, one of which was awarded at the Festival of Cannes. That was Enquête de Sens, and another one who was nominated at the Caesar in France, in France, and that was Bigger Than Us. And the Caesar is the equivalent of the Oscar in the United States. So another blockbuster is Guibert.
Thank you, Mike.
of the foundation. And Guibert, as you know, is the co-founder and a very dear friend, and also a key partner to the foundation. Maybe you want to talk about what you do for the foundation also.
We try to establish, to set up a strategy together to understand the world and to fix the priorities for the foundation. But what I do mainly after that, it's what we call scouting. I mean, I travel the world mainly in Europe to
Scouting.
My French accent, sorry for that.
I love it.
I travel the world mainly in Europe to meet entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs and pioneers who address actually the problem we want to solve. So I meet a lot of persons, and that's my responsibility, identify the right guy, the right girl, and trying to integrate them in the ecosystem of the Lunt Foundation. The second point, it's weaving, I should say, it's connecting the dots. When we have those marvelous pioneers, what I try to do is to connect them together because we do believe in synergy. And the third point, the third things I do a lot also, it's mentoring. Even if people, they are not part of the ecosystem.
When we don't finance
absolutely,
them.
Absolutely. If we don't finance them, it happens quite often that I mentor those people to help them to deploy the project or to open their wings and to generate more impact. But I do that a lot also for, of course, our own change makers. And what I do also a lot, as I wrote a book and as I wrote a manifest about the new narrative, thanks to the Lunt Foundation, I give a lot of lectures about the new narrative, the narrative we need to build another world.
And so where are we after 10 years of activity? We are also still pioneer and scouts, like Guibert said, because scouting for emerging answers to our challenges is an important part of our work. Although, of course, we will continue to work with some of our blockbusters, like the ones I mentioned to you, because they're still very active and they need support, definitely. We have decided to kind of change a little bit our aim to what we believe is important today. And we did the same for the structure, also to meet what we believe is more comfortable for us and more agile. So we have no more office and we have no more staff.
Okay, so we had a discussion 2 years ago with Michael about the situation of the world and trying to understand where we could create more value and have a bigger impact. And so it's why we decided at that time, after spending time of agriculture and regenerative economy that are slowly becoming mainstream, we decided at that time to focus, to concentrate our action on 3 different topics. The first one is how to increase consciousness in the circle of decision makers and leaders. That's very important. We are not practicing bashing. We want to promote solution, and then we want to approach big leaders, political leaders or economical leaders to explain to them that there is another possibility of the tools to make the world a better place. That's the first thing. The second point, it's probably due to the crisis of COVID-19, we decided to put a focus on medicine. We have the feeling that actually our healthcare system mainly addresses the symptoms of the disease and not enough the causes of the disease. That's why after spending time on the concept of regenerative agriculture, regenerative economy, we decided to spend time and to put effort and money on the concept of regenerative medicine. It's called integrative medicine. What is it exactly, integrative medicine? It's the fact to not only cure the disease, but to work a lot on the preventive approach. And in our view, integrative medicine, it's based on 4 P's. The first one, it must be a predictive medicine. Second P, it must be a preventive medicine. Third P, it's a personalized medicine. And the fourth one, it's what we call participative medicine, the link between the patient and the doctor. And we need this medicine to be affordable. So it's really what we do today, and we support already different projects, and we meet a lot of scientists and doctors. And the third point, after putting more consciousness in the circle of decision makers about supporting integrative medicine, the third point, it's also to help medias, newspaper, TV, and how to become more conscious, because we have the ability that today it's very complicated, very difficult to be a good journalist with the whole system moving around us. And we do believe that to elevate, to raise the consciousness of the people, we need to bring to the awareness of the people other ideas, other information. That's why we spend a lot of time on these three topics.
A new narrative.
A new narrative.
A new narrative. So one of the person, we're just going to give you a sample, not the whole list, which is available for you if you wish later on, but as a sample, Hannes Grasegger. Hannes Grasegger, he's German, but lives in Switzerland. I met him, a delightful guy. He's a journalist, but he's also a whistleblower. He's the one who came up with the, in 2016, with the story of Cambridge Analytica and Facebook, that scandal. He's writing a book on digital solutions to help people understand how big data works. Imagine Green is also another project.
Well, it's a very risky business. Imagine Green, it's a project supported by two French persons now living in Los Angeles, and the idea is to create a mini-series documentary where green heroes guiding CEOs, iconic CEOs such as Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, into a journey of transformation. What does it mean exactly? They will create some small documentary like a reality show for Netflix or Amazon, and they will take iconic CEOs, especially American CEOs, and they bring them with artists, with activists in a gorgeous nature to observe what is the reaction of the CEOs, but also what are their deepest feeling about the climate change and the biodiversity. It's quite risky, this project. We do believe with Michael, but that's risky enough to be able to succeed. If you are able to change a mind, to create a mind shift with a CEO, normally you will have an impact on the whole organization. So, but it's part of what we have done with the media, but we have done also different things about supporting documentaries or also organizing gathering for journalists and redacteurs-en-chef in order to bring new ideas.
Another thing that we do in the media world is that we notice that the people who actually make the media, so that means the publishers, journalists, they need some help as well, because time is going so fast today, everything's going so fast. We offered them a space where they could just stop for a few hours and think and redefine what they want to do in their work. Is this still what I want to do? That's a very often question that we hear. So it's a space that they don't come as publishers or journalists, they just come as people. And together, even though they are competitors, together they speak. It's a really interesting process that we've seen happen last year. We want to do it again this year. This happens around the forum which is called the Spirit of Humanity. 10 years ago it started in Iceland, and there's a chapter that we finance in Geneva in 2021 to do just that.
Maybe one more thing about what we do, another example of what we do in terms of bringing more consciousness in the circle of decision makers. We finance a fantastic project called Les Leaders du Futur, Académie des Leaders du Futur. It's an amazing lady, it's called Alice Barb. She's been identified by the Obama School in the United States as one of the 100 women under 40 who could change the world. And she went to New York. She spent 1 year at the Obama School with the Obama Foundation, with Barack Obama as a teacher. And when she came back to Europe, Barack Obama told her that actually the biggest problem in our democracy is that we don't have enough people working for the common good. We have a lot of people in politics working for party or ideology, but we don't have enough people working for common good. And it's very urgent to train people, to train very often social entrepreneurs who already demonstrate that they are able to work for the common good, and to help them to become, I should say, politician, or to enter into politics, to go to the National Assembly, and to be able to be the defender of the common good. And it's very ambitious. It's very interesting because the school is located in Paris, but a close connection with the Columbia University in New York, and Barack Obama is still one of the teachers of this cursus, and we were the very first to finance the project.
You all know about Synergos, and you know they have different affinity groups around food, refugees, and so on, and they have one around spirituality as well. And we have financed last year, and this year also, the development of the spiritual affinity group in Europe. Of course, with the pandemic, we couldn't meet, so a lot happened online, which I don't think was as effective, but that was how it was. But we believe that they do an amazing job. We know them pretty well, you know them, so we supported them.
And we have another project that is very exciting also. It's called On est prêt.
We are ready.
We are ready in English. It has been created by another amazing lady. It's Magali Payen, and actually what she did, she created a community of influencers and YouTubers, but more than 100 influencers. So it means that she is able to reach millions of people in Europe and mainly in France. And all those influencers and YouTubers are very interested in climate change and defending biodiversity. And with this community, she's been able also to connect with the President Emmanuel Macron to organize 3 weeks of meeting between the President and citizens to talk about the climate change and how to develop a new democracy. She organized also a crowdfunding to finance different NGOs that actually work mainly for the defense of biodiversity. What they do, they take over land to rewild the land, and the other thing, they also finance a lot action for the animal welfare.
Animal welfare, yes. Well, as you notice, we finance a lot of, I would say, soft skills this year. This is how we shifted. Because we believe that the world needs that. We need another conscious. We need to have decisions coming from elsewhere than just the mind, more from the heart. This is what we truly believe that the world needs today. And something we do within our ecosystem with everybody that we finance, work with, not only finance, but also work with, partner with. We organize gatherings so they can meet. They can share, because they might be doing something totally different fields, but what they do is for the same purpose, is to enhance humanity. And we realize that having those people gather, it really improves the impact they have, even though just by connecting, exchanging, feeling the support from others, which is very important. Gathering communities together. I think it's a time also to gather communities of like-minded people for that same purpose, exactly.
Yeah, it's what we call a very moment for them, because they are always in the rat race, trying to save the world. But in this very moment, and we do that with a kind of shaman, we help them to connect to themselves, to the other, and to nature. And it's really, I should say, part of our brand. When we explain that to our foundation, it's what makes us different, I think. So if I had to keep in mind one thing, it's probably this specific gathering. We call that consciousness and synergy.
So, time to celebrate now. Our 10th anniversary. Happy birthday, Guibert.
Happy anniversary, Michael.
And happy anniversary to the Lunt Foundation, all of you who supported it. Thank you so much for your trust, and looking forward for the years to come. Bye-bye.
Bye.